I'm Hilda Tadria, the Executive Director of MEMPROW, which I started 10 years ago. When I started MEMPROW, I thought the issue was simply going to schools and working with a few girls. But down the road, after visiting one or two schools, we actually found that the challenge of girls, of students in schools, was violence.
I'm really thankful for MEMPROW because of MEMPROW I was able to graduate. I was sexually harassed in my final year at university by one of the lecturers who was called Mr. It was really, really hard for me to open up to anyone, but through thick and thin, I really tried to look for solutions. I went to different people in MEMPROW. I talked to them. I asked them what I could really do. So it's not until at some point I had to confide in Dr. Hilda Tadria. I tried to write to the university officially, giving them a formal sexual harassment complaint. It's only by the power of MEMPROW that I was able to be helped. We were also able to get my marks from the lecturer, even when they had been withheld. And I'm really thankful because if I had not gone to MEMPROW, I don't think I would have graduated.
Over the last 10 years, we now can boast of reaching almost 10,000 girls and boys. Our space welcomes boys.
My name is Prince Noah Nataja. I joined the MEMPROW when I was introduced by a friend when I was working in the Good Needs Center. People may think MEMPROW is only for the girls because it's empowering of the women. But to me, I think even boys should come on board, so many of them, because most of the issues which affect women, we, the men, we are the cause or we are the source of those problems. One, we are ignorant of how to treat these women. Two, we think naturally that women are supposed to be suppressed. And three, I think we don't recognize their presence and we only recognize them in times of need, when we need them. For example, when you need food, that's when you realize that a woman is important.
My name is Omito Robert Steen. I live in Pakwach. I met MEMPROW in the year 2010 at National Teachers College, Muni in Arua. By then I was serving as the Secretary of State for the Girl Government in Girl Government of Muni NTC Arua at that time, the year 2010, as I said. And I met MEMPROW in a meeting organized by MEMPROW for the student leadership at the National Teachers College that time. We had a very great interaction on leadership skills, social survival skills. And after I left the college, when I graduated in 2010, I made a trek of MEMPROW office in Muyenga until I called them to join Navy and take the message. So they held the first training in December 2011 upon my invitation in Navy, where the training was held at St. Daniel Comboni's College Mir in the year 2011.
Recently we were fortunate to be sponsored by UN Women to launch a He for She campaign in one of the cultural areas we work. And we are looking at men now actually speaking out for protection and respect of girls and women's rights.
Family quarrels, which used to be rampant, today there are not very many family quarrels in our societies because MEMPROW trained people. They talked of the badness of fighting mothers, fighting wives, or coming home when drunk and then you get to fighting your wife, fighting your children. Today people have got this knowledge and at least, if any, only a few people are quarreling anyhow. These are the main things MEMPROW did for us, and they are still going on helping us by training us more. Like now, this morning we have come for a further training. which will take us 3 days.
So we have been fortunate because we actually get support for doing innovative work, but at the same time we are very fortunate in having partners who understand that changing cultural mindsets, empowering girls, all require long term, all of which have supported us to make sure that we stay long with communities we work with. When we take an issue, they support us long enough to be able to make a difference. And I would like to really say sincerely that we are very lucky and we appreciate all our partners who have supported us in this work. There are so many other reasons why our work has been accepted. The first reason is that we tell every single girl, every single boy who comes to us that we will work with them one person at a time. We do not classify problems as everybody's problems, but we recognize there are girls who need special attention, girls who are sexually violated, girls who are experiencing physical and emotional violence, girls who just have such low self-esteem. Our motto is one girl at a time.
My name is Barbara Adibo. I come from the eastern part of Uganda called Teso, and I'm a procurement specialist. I work with KPMG. Before I joined MEMPROW, actually I got to meet MEMPROW in 2008 when I was in Abisunsa Girls School. I was in S5. I remember it was November. But I will take you through before I met MEMPROW, my life before MEMPROW. I was a very timid, shy girl. Despite growing up in a family of boys, I thought that would prepare me for the harsh realities of life. But for some reason, I did not find myself. I did not realize who I was. So when I was in high school, I sort of tried to portray an image that was not me. I tried to join the basketball team. I tried to find an identity. But when I joined MEMPROW in S5, MEMPROW sort of opened my eyes to realize who I was. There was a training that was organized. It was a social survival skills training. It was 5 days. A lot of things were taught, including leadership, sexual reproductive health, values of a good leader, and very many things that taught me how to be assertive. I usually call that story that I always tell people, from Barbara to Lady Barbara, because from that training I started seeing myself in a different light. I did not try to disguise myself and get my identity from something else, from being a basketballer, but I started seeing myself as me. Whereas my story is not the generic story of at home we are being mistreated as an only girl. That is not my kind of story, but my story is about the power of self-realization. That is what my story is. So after I joined MEMPROW, my life changed. I started seeing things differently. I started enrolling for leadership positions in school. I became a routine prefect. I started participating in activities, and that continued even when I joined the university. I joined Kyambogo University in 2010. At Kyambogo, I was also active. I started enrolling in activities around the university. I became the first female vice president of the Kyambogo Procurement Students Association. I continued being involved in MEMPROW activities. I used to come for the dialogues. I used to MC. And while doing that, I started now, I think, teaching other girls what MEMPROW taught me. I think I realized that if I'm given a candle, I think I can pass it on to someone else and light it. And it does not mean that mine will grow dimmer, but another person can at least get to experience what MEMPROW has done in my life.
Dr. Hilda, thank you so much.
But we also want to make sure that when a MEMPROW girl is finally out of school, they can become leaders with integrity, leaders who are knowledgeable, and leaders who are really passionate about women's rights and gender equality.
For that, because of MEMPROW's work and effort in my life, I chose to be more advocating for the girl child rights and women, and that's why I can proudly say I'm an advocate.
My name is Aero Lillian Olok. I hold a bachelor's degree in social work and community development. Right now I run my own organization called Generate for Generations. We work with single mothers, widows, and teenage mothers in my community.
Another major objective of this organization is to make sure that, for me as a feminist, we have young people who work with feminist principles.
My name is Sandra Riza. Before I joined MEMPROW, I was just a girl going through life, I didn't have ambitions beyond finishing school and getting a good job and just basically being an adult in life. As a result of interacting with MEMPROW and its partners and allies, I got interested in feminism as well. So for me, the biggest thing that I have taken away from being a MEMPROW girl is recognizing that I've started my feminism journey and being actively feminist.
And so we also bring together young feminists and older feminists for intergenerational learning.
I came to join MEMPROW in 2013 when I was working nearby MEMPROW office. But it was a gentleman called Peter from NGO Forum who told me about MEMPROW, that his wife attends workshops here, which is organized by this MEMPROW office for women. So I got curious and I walked to the office. Here I met Sarah and Ashraf. Then they told me about Ashraf, about the monthly intergeneration dialogue. So from the next month on that year, I began to attend MEMPROW intergeneration workshop. I got more interested, so when I found the MEMPROW girls and boys who come to this workshop, they communicate freely and they feel really freely.
So MEMPROW's major goals is to mentor girls and young women for leadership, for sustained self-reliance, because we make sure that they are also very well knowledgeable in the key areas that sustain a good, healthy living.
This is my workplace, Generate for Generations. After participating in a MEMPROW business plan writing, I learned how to write the business plan, and we had a competition that was initiated by a Swedish company called Global Business Labs, and I managed to win to become one of the best, and I got a coach. So my coaches advised me to start up this, and it was because of MEMPROW. It encouraged me to participate in the business plan. That is how I got to start up this workplace.
So with all that, it all began from MEMPROW. If it wasn't for MEMPROW, I wouldn't have gotten those connections and reached where I have reached right now.
One thing about MEMPROW is they recommend, once they see your strength, they recommend you for higher levels. So that's a very good change that has actually gotten out of MEMPROW. Because I remember early last year, I was recommended by the executive director of MEMPROW to be on the board for WUGNET, which is Women of Uganda Network, because they needed a young woman with an enterprising mind, with a dynamic mindset. So I'm really, really happy that that change has actually come at this particular time in my life.
After the dialogues on entrepreneurship, let me just give a brief something about the entrepreneurship dialogue for those who do not know what the dialogue was about. Basically, we were told that anyone can start a business wherever you are. It talked vividly about saving and making sure that we as young people, we could do anything within our reach. I discovered that. I looked back as an education student and I looked back at my family. I realized, well, I'm actually looking for jobs, but then I was lucky. I had been given internship at FinaBank, which doesn't exist anymore. It's called GTB back then. I realized that it wasn't worth it when there is a school at home. So I decided I will go back home and help my mother. She thought it was unbelievable. It was out of this world. So I convinced her. She didn't believe me. So what I did, got my few savings, went and changed the uniform, bought another uniform and changed it, because in the entrepreneurship training, we were told that any business, whether it's a sweet, how do you package it? I realized that we needed to repackage the school. So I repackaged through my uniform. I sold it at a higher price. I was able to save some money.
I think MEMPROW is encoded in our DNA. And I don't talk for myself, but I think everyone who has been to MEMPROW, whether you've come for an intergenerational dialogue or a social survival skill or just the annual dinners or something that MEMPROW has invited you at, I'm sure you don't leave the place the way you've come. You either leave it better or best, not worse. And we are always going to I'm always going to call myself a MEMPROW girl. Like, I do not even have to think twice about it. That one I'll act without thinking, because the things we've gotten from MEMPROW are really, really many. We may not count them all the time. And of course, oftentimes as human beings, there are things our eyes skip, but here you can't, even if you wanted to. I'm a poet, and the executive director of MEMPROW happened to perform one of my poems in New York, and I got a chance to go there just because of that. How the hell can I forget it?
What I'm trying to say is, I'm a MEMPROW girl. I'm too smart to be seduced by you. I never drink. So my mind is ever sober. My frontal cortex is on my head, and my reasoning capacity is its content. So you forget that I reason better, and I know that you will hook up with your friends and I become the laughing stock. Hell no! I also want to finish high school without any guy calling me his ex, without regrets in my life, with a heart open and a mind less biased, with a cute smile on my face saying, I made it.
My name is Justine Simbi, a former student of Makerere University and a proud MEMPROW girl. Well, I joined MEMPROW in 2014 when I was a Women Affairs Minister on the Guild. As a MEMPROW girl, I kept coming for more trainings. I kept learning a lot from very many different people, even Dr. Tadria herself. So with time, I decided to, just keep on putting into practice what I've been learning at MEMPROW, because at MEMPROW, these are feminists that tell you that nothing can stop you if you want to go on with life. So in the long run, since my friends were always telling me that I should start my makeup because I've always loved it, I've always had a passion for fashion, I ended up doing it, and because of the MEMPROW trainings and teachings, I've been able to start up my own business, and I'm really thankful for MEMPROW.
The second reason that I believe has made our work really successful and popular, especially in schools, is that we have managed to come to a common goal with our stakeholders. The schools know they need their girls to pass their exams. They know they need to address teenage pregnancies that they experience in schools. And the students know that they need to be protected from the violence in the schools. So on either side, we have a common good. We have a common good with the students. We have a common good with the school authorities.
My name is Jessica Umadraparaku. I'm the Deputy Head Teacher in charge of administration, Bishop Spriano Changire Secondary School, boarding section, and also the patron for the MEMPROW Club at school. Then, as far as the students are concerned, I am proud to say that MEMPROW has changed the lives of many students. There are students who have been a little bit shy and withdrawn, but because they are members of this club, they are able to come out and now confidently speak.
My name is Marina Annabelle. I'm in senior 1. I asked my mom, can I go into the MEMPROW training? She said it's okay, anything for you. And I came for the full week. I learned a lot. Before, I was not so confident. I had a lot, but I could keep it to myself since I thought my voice could go away. I was so scared of everybody. Then after that, in the MEMPROW training, I was so active. I made sure I could be active as to my level best. To one extent that they had to choose me to be an MC. I was so happy. I told it to my mom. My mom said, "Hey, you are the best. I wish you had another sister." Then I said, life is like that. Then she said, "Just go tomorrow, be confident." The following day, it was a Saturday. I spoke like, I don't know. Nowadays, I am so confident. I even don't fear to look in that teacher's eyes.
My name is Catherine Sharimpa, a teacher at Ruzura SS, and I'm a MEMPROW teacher.
My name is Tumhairwa Winnie. I'm a teacher here at Ruzura SS, and I'm the senior woman and patron MEMPROW Girls Club.
We are so grateful to MEMPROW from the first time it came. It made a tremendous impact on our school, on our boys and girls.
My name is Bira Patience. I stay in Luzira Prisons Barracks. In this school, I'm the vice president of MEMPROW Club, and I'm the language prefect of our school. Being in MEMPROW has helped me a lot because it has changed my life. Before, I wasn't confident. My dad, being a prison warder, was very tough and is still very tough. These days I would fear approaching him on some matters since he's my father. At the same time, he's like my mother because he raised me up from childhood. So I used to fear approaching him on some matters. But ever since I joined MEMPROW and the training of the social survival skills of being assertive, it helped me a lot. When I have an issue to tell my father, I just go straight to the point.
I'm called Aloyo Chandrubina. I'm a teacher in Ebi Town SS. I'm the career mistress there. The girls who went in for the training with MEMPROW have really changed.
My name is Kaombe Priska. I am a MEMPROW girl in Ebi Town SS. I joined MEMPROW in second term. MEMPROW trained me how to walk with confidence. At first, when I did not join MEMPROW, I don't know how to walk with confidence, and I even fear talking in public, but now I don't fear anything. At first, I don't know what to become in future, but MEMPROW trained me what I should become in future. And now I know in future I would like to be a journalist.
And I'll say one reason that we have really been successful in the districts we work with is that we worked with the communities. They contributed towards addressing, analyzing, and coming to a conclusion that mentoring girls in the school is the right thing to do, even when we have left.
My name is Visando James. I want to go to MEMPROW. I'm a proud adult from Bakwach. But I was so happy last year MEMPROW went to my village. Can you imagine? That is Bakwach in Panyamos. Very happy. So I'm very proud of MEMPROW and I'm very happy.
I'm Abela Josephine, a community development officer. I came to know MEMPROW in 2015-16 up to 17, early 17 when I was in Nyaravut sub-county. MEMPROW did a lot in my life. Some of the women or young girls suffering, especially in marriage. Others were not able to go to school because some of the cultural leaders or community members or the household head are not supporting the girl child education. MEMPROW bailed out some of the dropouts, especially young girls, the teenage mothers, who were able to go back and join some of the practical training. We had some of them who joined Bonga, that is under the private sectors. They were being trained under skill train, and others were able to join back to school. One went back to senior 3, and more 8 were in Angal SS, where MEMPROW were able to support them.
Many communities where we have worked now understand that a girl child education is meaningful, is the right thing to do and support, and that women and girls actually have value beyond the bride wealth that they have traditionally expected to get when a girl gets married.
My name is Nyamer Hope Melena. I'm a MEMPROW girl and a student of Nebitown Secondary School. In my village, very many girls drop after sitting P7, either going to marry or either pregnant. But for me, I succeeded, and now I'm in S1, I'm going to senior 2. MEMPROW helped me to know that I am a girl and becoming a woman in future. And I'm telling my girls, my friends there, if your parents says you should not go to school, at least cry until all your tears dry up to go to school. And in every school that MEMPROW is in, please join, because MEMPROW has helped many girls in schools to know who they are and what they would like to be in future. And the MEMPROW team should go on and reach the village schools to also train girls to be what they want to be in future.
We've done a lot of work, but I want to sincerely thank my colleagues in MEMPROW, the staff. They work hard. We know that this is an ending work. They know their responsibility. They are professionals. And I think for me, that's really another success factor, that we've created an organization where once you come to MEMPROW, you know that you will have to be a professional. And that's how we deliver.